Well, 10,860, that's where Nifty is sitting right now. Sensex with a gain of 230 points, and the advance decline ratio is also fairly balanced, just slightly in favor of the declines. Now, what's moving higher in the last few minutes? Bharti Airtel is one stock that is moving higher and saw a bit of spike in the last few minutes. And a couple of these auto names like Tata Motors and Bajaj Auto are also moving higher. And add to that the heavyweight ITC. Now, that one, it has lifted the Nifty higher in the last few minutes or so. But Infosys is one stock that was gaining higher in trade. It is off the day's high, around 2% off the day's high, but continues to be in the green as the company will be considering its buyback along with the Q3 earnings and the results on January 11th. Reema Tendulkar joins us with more details on that. Reema, over to you.
Yes, along with numbers on the 11th of January, that's Friday, the board of Infosys will also consider the proposal of a share buyback as well as returning cash to the shareholders via a special dividend. Now, the company's capital allocation plan for 2019 stated that they will pay 70% of the free cash flow as dividend. Over and above that, they will return $2 billion to the shareholders. Of the $2 billion, $400 million has already been returned in the month of June of 2018 via a special dividend of 10 rupees per share. So we are left with $1.6 billion, which could be returned to the shareholders via a buyback or a special dividend or a combination of the two. Now, this has been widely speculated by the street because there needs to be a one-year gap between the last buyback and the current buyback, and that one-year moratorium for a buyback concluded in December of 2018, which is why the street has been expected that in the January numbers, the company will announce this, the planned payout of this $1.6 billion. Now, Antique says that if the company returns the entire amount via buyback and they put the buyback price at a 15% premium to the current market price, they can return 3.3% of the equity. If the entire amount is returned via a special dividend, then it implies about 22 rupees per share. But apart from the buyback and the special dividend, the focus will also be on the numbers because there is a possibility that the company can actually up the lower end of its full year guidance. So the guidance from 6 to 8% can become 7 to 8%, considering the momentum the company has seen and the strong deal wins. So while they will hold on to their margin guidance of 22 to 24%, there is a possibility of the revenue guidance being upped at least at the lower end, and that will also be a big positive for Infosys if it comes.
Okay, I mean, payout really in focus from Infosys, of course, apart from the results, which, if there is a change in guidance, as Reema pointed out towards the end, would be, of course, the headline as well. 672 on Infosys, it's come off a long way from the high point of the day, but a third of a percent now. We spoke with Vinod Dasari, Managing Director of Ashok Leyland, on the company's performance year to date and the BS6 norms. He says that he continues to be bullish on the 9-month growth for the year. Also adds that they will not chase market share at the cost of margins. Listen in.
Year to date, the commercial vehicle industry has grown 25%. So I don't know who's talking about the slowdown, but 25% growth in any industry is very good. For the 9 months, the market is up 25%, and compared to the previous month, we are up 25%. So I am continuing to be very bullish about this. And like I had said at the beginning of the year, that I believe the market will grow by 10 to 15%. I still feel the market will actually grow 15 to 20% before the year end. World over, there has been a pre-buy which takes, whether it's in US or Europe, usually anywhere between 25 to 50% pre-buy in the year before the Euro 6. So let's take a conservative approach. You would still have a 25 to 30% growth in the next year that is coming up. We are not going to chase market share, as I told you before also. We are very protective of our margins. We are very protective of our market share also. We are not going to cede market share, but we are not going to aggressively pursue market share.
Well, keep an eye out on ITC because that one is moving higher. In fact, sitting at the high point of the day, up around 2%, and most of that gain has been added in the last few minutes. And on the flip side, what is really negating the effect of ITC is SBI, because pull up the intraday chart of SBI, that one has suddenly seen a tad bit of dip, and that's the stock that is putting the Bank Nifty under pressure because now Bank Nifty is up around just around 140 points versus the 180, 190 point gain that we had seen at the start of the show. But on that note, we'll slip into a short break. We'll get you more on the markets and stock specific action when we return.